Okay, so this is the second part to the video about the gay marriage debate. In the last video, I got a lot of responses about people liking my pink shirt, and I said that that was the only pink shirt I had, and then I realized that I'm a liar, and I actually have one more in my closet. So anyways, I got a lot of good responses back from some people, and I wanted to, I started responding back in just in messages, but I figured there was enough to go through that I would respond with a video. I want to talk about two, actually. This one comment I'm going to mention first before I get into the bulk of this, because there's a lot to go through. I just wanted to address this point that somebody put on the page. Children can never succeed without a male and a female role model at home. That's why we as a society expressly forbid single parents to raise children. So apparently we do. We forbid single parents to raise children. I didn't know that that was happening, that people were taking children away from single parents. So that I don't know what the hell that's about. Straight marriages are valid because they produce children. Gays in general have become so flamboyant and ignorant with their T-H-E-R-E, parades and mainstream television. Do you see straight people getting naked on the street and husbands fondling their T-H-E-R-E wives while chanting, "We're great, we're straight, get used to it"? My point exactly. We need a solution. Okay, straight marriages are valid because they produce children. So I have an idea then. If that's the way that we're going to view marriages, that they're specifically for raising children, why don't we have some sort of a deposit that you put in? So if you are married and you have kids, then you get your money refunded back. But if you are married and stay childless until the point you hit menopause, the government either takes your money or invalidates your marriage. Because I get so tired of it. I mean, obviously that's a ridiculous concept, but there's this concept that marriages produce children, that's why they're valid. You're not required to have children in a marriage. A marriage does not have to be about children. There are people who get married with the intent of never having children. So if this is such a threat to society, why don't we cut that off at the beginning and invalidate all marriages that don't have children? Do you see straight people getting naked on the street? Yes, Mardi Gras. And husbands fondling their wives while chanting, "We're great, we're straight, get used to it." This point is brought up again and again. Why do they need to have gay pride? We don't have straight pride. What would be the point in having straight pride? You can stretch things as much as possible and say, oh, it's getting so bad that soon straights aren't going to have any rights, and they're taking away from the white males, blah blah blah. Yes, you can stretch it to whatever you want to make yourself seem like a victim, but can anybody honestly tell me that they feel in danger, or they feel like they're being discriminated against for being heterosexual? Does anybody fear walking down the street and holding their heterosexual partner's hand and fear that they're going to get attacked, or that they're going to be yelled at, or that they're going to lose their job if your boss finds out you're straight? This whole point about, you can disagree with the way pride parades go, whatever, but this concept of, well, we should have straight pride is just like, it's such a tired, ludicrous idea. My point exactly, we need a solution. I don't know what that means, that we need a solution. I don't know what the solution would be, but hey, somebody has a solution, send it off. The next one, I might have to break this down into more than one video, because this other person gave a very detailed, the first message was sent, I responded with another message, but I figured the second half of this message I would try to address each point in this video. So I'm going to go through this really fast, and hopefully I can paraphrase it so that I don't bore everybody. I mentioned that we've had gay marriage in Canada, and so this person is addressing my point here. Your country of Canada is actually a perfect example of why redefining is toxic to culture. It talks about the bill C-38 and how people, Catholic priests have been forced to conduct gay weddings. People have lost their tax exemption. People have been prosecuted with hate speech for preaching against the gay lifestyle. I don't know where you're getting your information from, but if you actually read the actual bill that was passed, there are a few parts to it. I just want to read the part 3 of the bill. It is recognized that officials of religious groups are free to refuse to perform marriages that are not in accordance with their religious beliefs. Now, I actually think people should be able to refuse. I think that as long as there's another option for these people to go to that's equally as valid as a marriage that would be performed in that church. I mean, it's their own funeral, in my opinion, because these religious groups are pushing younger people away more and more and more. So if they want to discriminate against more people, I mean, and that's their choice. Less and less people are wanting to get married in Canada, along with the average birth rate that's needed to sustain a country's economy being below average in Canada as well. Now, in these particular situations, we can't say 100% gay marriage was the cause, but there is certainly a reasonable correlation that's present. I just wanted to... the statistic that I have is a couple years old. It's from 2006. But as of October 2006, in the country of Canada, which is approximately 34 million people, there were 12,438 marriages, gay marriages. Do you really think that that's the cause of these few people who are dispersed mostly through cosmopolitan cities, not so much in smaller areas? This is the reason people are marrying less, and this is the reason this is a trend that has been happening since Mary Tyler Moore and That Girl, and this is not, this idea of single life being idealized is not starting from when gay marriages were legalized in Canada. That's quite a stretch, I would say. On that point, I want to know why we don't attack single people more. There are way more people who choose to stay single than there are gay people. I don't know the exact statistic in terms of which part of that group is also gay people, but there are definitely a huge number of people who are choosing to remain single. Why don't we attack these people? These people are more of a threat to the family than gays, are they not? They're the ones who are trying to opt out of marriage, whereas the gay community is trying to be included in this. So I don't understand why the people who choose to stay single are not protested against by the conservative movement. He says that the evidence speaks for itself. Multiple sociologists have come to the same conclusion about how when a society accepts homosexuality, how they start to collapse. I don't see how these studies support this. The author of the study, which is a guy named Unwin, or Yunwin, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, was religious, so I think the society is slanted. Plus, this was a study done from the 30s, and I mentioned in my first response to him that it was a guy who went and studied different societies and found out that he claimed that when homosexuality came into the society, it collapsed. Homosexuality has existed since the beginning of recorded time. The earliest versions that you find are usually things that are happening not in terms of loving relationships. They're pagan celebrations and rituals and experimentation. But it has existed and has not wiped out the population. If you look at some of these tribes with these very strange, I'm trying to think, I don't remember the names of the tribes, but there's some tribes who, when the boys become men, the older men in the community, well, this is very messed up, but they will ejaculate inside their anuses, and they think that this is a way to to instill fertility in the boys. It's very messed up, but if you read the studies on it, there's no with this homosexual conduct happening, there's no resurgence or spike in homosexuality in actual gay people in these societies. Under that culture, if one of the boys turned out to be gay, I don't think it would be such they wouldn't be the subject of hate so much. It would be something that they wouldn't make sense to them. They wouldn't understand, because their entire society is based on, you have sex for procreation. I mean, even the most conservative sect of the straight community in North America knows that we don't just have sex for procreation, and if we did, we'd be in a very sad state. If the only thing you can do is reference a study that came out around the time that penicillin was discovered, I think it's a little bit of a flimsy argument. But I appreciate that this person actually took the time to break all this down. They didn't just scream slurs and give a bunch of rambling. So that he did give his breakdown of these studies, and I can put up the link to these studies if people want to check them out for themselves.